Tonight, TikTok the closest it's been to a national ban becoming a reality. The Senate expected to vote as soon as tomorrow on the bill the House passed over the weekend.
The bill is passed without objection.
It appears likely to pass in the Senate, too, and President Biden has said he will sign the bill, which would require TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to sell its stake in the platform within a year or face a national ban. An earlier bill would have required a sale within 6 months.
TikTok is really built as a massive data collection machine.
Congress looking to address national security concerns, with worries China could access the sensitive data of the app's 170 million American users. According to the app's privacy policy, they automatically collect geolocation-related data and browsing history.
The problem is that when ByteDance decides to create a wall to block U.S. data from leaving the United States, it's like asking the wolf to build a safer henhouse.
TikTok has denied sharing data with the Chinese government. In a statement, TikTok said the bill would trample the free speech rights of 170 million Americans and devastate 7 million small businesses, vowing in an internal memo obtained by NBC News to fight the legislation in court if passed, encouraging employees to stay composed and its users to fight hard against a possible ban. Deborah Mayer relies on TikTok for her business selling handbags. She says it's added upwards of 6 figures in sales.
The numbers just keep growing month over month.
What percentage of your sales would you lose if TikTok were to be banned in the U.S.?
Overnight, probably about 60%.
One of millions of users who will be watching this week's vote very carefully. Savannah Sellers, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.